Welcome into Seahawks Today. I am your host, Will Ortner, and frankly, I think we need to dive into the film. This is a smart channel here at Seahawks Today, and we like to not just rest on our laurels. Your Seattle Seahawks just beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, a very good team in the AFC, a very good team in the AFC South, and you beat them on the road 20-12. But the more that I watched the game, the more that I realized there are some things that the Seahawks need to improve on, and frankly, they can improve on, and I think that they will. We're going to get into those four things here in today's video, but before we do that, I want to make sure that we get some hype rocking and rolling for the channel. The Seahawks just won a big game. What you're going to do, it's a crazy new YouTube feature. It's really cool. You are going to just scroll to the right of the comments. You're going to be on your phone, scroll to the right. It's going to pop up and say hype. I want you to go in and click hype the video. What that'll do is that'll put us into the hype channel, and we're going to see if we can be one of the top 50 most hyped channels on this Victory Monday for your Seattle Seahawks. If we get there, we're going to get a lot more Seahawk fans coming in, hanging out, having a good time with us here over on Seahawks Today. Now, where I'm seeing some improvements that need to be made with your Seattle Seahawks, I think the bugaboo keeps popping up. It's on this offensive line unit. Right now, that's the number one thing to me that it's fine, it's okay, but it has to get better. You put a lot on Sam Darnold in the passing attack because there was no rushing attack. You were not able to run the football effectively in this game at all. 2.3 yards a clip, not good enough. You have to be able to run the football in the NFL if you are going to win football games. Now, what's scary here for the Seahawks is both your running backs are healthy. It's not like one was just hurt or one's coming back off an injury. They just frankly weren't getting the job done, but I don't blame the running backs. Like, we're going to throw both of their stats up here in a moment. Kenneth Walker's first, and you're going to look at that and go, 3.4 yards a carry. Will, that's atrocious. Well, it's not atrocious when Kenneth Walker's getting hit in the backfield 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage before he even gets a head of steam going. It's not atrocious that every time you run to the right side of the field, the right side of the offensive line, you don't get any leverage on the outside. If it's not right up the middle to the right side, if there's any of that outside zone movement to the right side, you're not getting the job done right now. It's a combination of a couple of different things. Anthony Bradford's not doing well. Abe Lucas isn't doing well all the time in those situations. Sometimes it's the tight end help that isn't there. But right now, you can't run the ball to the right side of the field, and that's a problem. Zach Charbonnet's line is not great. It's even worse. Again, I don't blame Charbonnet. There was a play in this game where Charbonnet was hit 3 yards in the backfield. He threw off 3 Jaguars defenders just to get 3 yards. And I was like, oh my goodness, freaking out, super excited in our watch party here on Seahawks Today. And I'm getting made fun of in the comments like, Will, you're so stupid. Why do you care about 2 yards? Because it really was a 5-yard gain. He gets stopped 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. A lesser back wouldn't have broken those tackles. I know there's some frustration right now of why do you keep rotating between Charbonnet and Kenneth Walker, stick with one. I still think the two-headed monster is the best way to go. Right now, this rushing attack isn't it. It can't keep happening. It cannot keep happening. The offensive line has got to figure out this rushing attack. They have to figure out this rushing game. Because if you become one-dimensional, game after game after game, we saw what happens last year. This group has to do a much better job of running the football. And I'm specifically looking at Sundell and Bradford. Don't get me wrong. No one's perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that Abe Lucas played everything perfect, that Gray Zabel played everything for Charles Cross. They didn't. But they're not the weak link right now. Gray Zabel's getting reaches, and that's allowing you to get to the edge on these outside zones. Anthony Bradford isn't. Jalen Sundell missed a couple of really key blocks. Now, they're difficult blocks. They're hard to reach. If you're a center and you're trying to get all the way across a defensive tackle that's lined up on the guard, that's a hard block. But he's not getting it done. And some of the reason why you put him there at that spot is because of what Sundell can do athletically. So I don't know what the decision is. But right now, there's 2 out of the 5 that, frankly, in my eyes, there needs to be some vast improvement. I don't know how you fix it. I don't know if you need to go out and make a trade. I don't know if you need to shuffle around some of the players. I don't know if you need to design plays that fit your guys better. Hey, on the left side, you can run more of that outside zone because Gray Zabel can get there. Anthony Bradford can't get there, so maybe you need to run more power schemes. Maybe you need to run more duo schemes. These are all things that need to be talked about. There's 3 options on how to fix this. I'm not going to be the one to tell you right now. I know what you need to do. But shoot, man, that's got to be fixed. Has to be fixed. The next thing that I noticed with this team and frankly with this offensive unit, man, is third down efficiency was bad. But I would say that your third down efficiency was bad in this game as a whole because of things that you weren't doing on first and second down. You converted 1 third down all game. Is that good? No, of course it isn't. I'm not going to sit up here and pee on your leg and tell you that it's raining. Only having 1 third down in a game where you had 12 third downs that you tried to convert is bad. It's really bad. But if every third down that you have is 5+, well, that eliminates 90% of what you can do. Seattle would have been happy against Jacksonville if it was only 3rd and 5. Most of those were 3rd and 8, 9, 10. It's really hard to get first downs that way, man. Defenses can just sit back, or they can bring pressure because you don't have time to get the ball out quick enough. This can't happen, man. You got to be better on third down. That's a money down. That's a crucial down for your Seattle Seahawks. You're getting behind the sticks right now. When you're running the football, you need to gain forward momentum, positive yardage. Some of it is on the offensive line, 100%. 100% some of that is on the offensive line. They need to do better. But there's also, something to be said about the play calling, something about the play calling decisions. Do I think that the coaching was really good in this game? Defensively, yes. Offensively, in the passing attack, yes. Running the ball, no. Got to figure out a way to fix it. Because if you can get that rushing attack going more, well, maybe your third down efficiency goes up higher. It's one of those things where they're all correlated. Something else you got to improve on this one is communication. And I don't necessarily think this is a coach-to-player communication, although maybe it is a little bit. But right now, you're giving up too many big plays in the secondary. The defensive line clearly bailed you out of this one. And by bailed you out, I mean they hit a lot of your flaws. When you're getting over 30 pressures in a game, Trevor Lawrence isn't going to be able to sit back there and step into his throws. He's going to be running around, moving around, trying to find open players, but he's going to have to make throws that, frankly, just are not easy. They're difficult. They're challenging. Hard for the receivers to catch the ball. You saw a lot of overthrown passes because of this. But what you saw in this game a lot was blown coverages. The one that I'm thinking about specifically, is the Brian Thomas Jr. touchdown. He goes out like he's going to fake a bubble. You have Nick Ebenwari and Shaq Griffin stay on the bubble screen. Brian Thomas comes out, easy pitch and catch, touchdown, no problem. I put you down 6-0 in that game. Put you down early in that one. How does that happen, man? This happened multiple times against Tampa Bay. I know you don't have Julian Love out there. So you don't have your main communicator in the secondary. But you cannot keep having these blown coverages, these missed opportunities. There were multiple times in this one where it felt like there were guys running free. There were guys open by themselves, not worrying about a defender being near them. Now, your defense did a really great job line-wise of making up for that. And I think you made some adjustments later on by just going into more simple coverage. But man, you're lucky it wasn't like last week. You saw a lot of blown coverages that Baker Mayfield was able to take advantage of because he had time. And he found open receivers deep. Trevor Lawrence only did that a couple times in this one. He was only able to do it a couple times in this one. You're lucky that they didn't take more advantage of the communication issues between secondary players. It's got to be better. I do need you to decide. I don't want to be all doom and gloom. You won the game, and it was against a playoff team. Frankly, I think you're an 11-win team this year. I think you're an 11-win team or more. Guess what? 11 wins, you're getting in the postseason. Let me know if you agree with me. Is this an 11-plus win team? You're going to type true down below. If you think it's false, you're going to type false down below. I better see a lot more trues than false. I'm going to talk about the last thing that Seattle's going to need to do to keep improving this team. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about our proud sponsor today, PrizePicks. You and I make decisions every day, but on PrizePicks, being right can get you paid. Don't miss any of the excitement this season on PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. PrizePicks is simple to play. Just pick more or less on any 2 to 6 player stat projections, and if your picks are right, you could cash in. PrizePicks invented the flex play, which means you can still cash out if your lineup isn't perfect. You can double your money even if one of your picks doesn't hit. PrizePicks is the best way to win cash this football season. Which players are going off? Which ones are overhyped? Make your picks in less than 60 seconds and turn your takes into cash all season long on PrizePicks. Here was my 2-pick power play from yesterday. Sam Darnold, more passing yards. Daniel Jones, more passing yards. I think that ended up going pretty well for me. Download the app today and use code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code CLNS to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks. It's good to be right. Look, man, the last thing you need to do to get some improvement for this team is just get healthy. Just get healthy. Some of the communication issues, some of the third down efficiency issues, maybe not really any of the offensive line issues, because pretty much everyone's healthy there. But, I mean, when we're talking about this secondary unit, you're missing a lot of key players. You're missing a lot of key players. But the two ones that I want to point at is Julian Love and Devin Witherspoon. They missed the game 2 weeks ago that you lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Neither one of them was available in this game when you went out and you took on the Jacksonville Jaguars. You also didn't have cornerback Reek Woolen because he was dealing with his concussion issue. When you don't have your guys out there ready to go, you see a lot of, well, frankly, just mistakes. You see communication misses. You see misses in the secondary. You see guys that should be running with a cornerback that just are not running with a cornerback. It's okay. It happens. These things get the best of us from time to time. But I think that this team is vastly going to improve. And what I mean by that is they are going to get better simply by, well, osmosis. And that osmosis is you're going to get your stars out there, your starters out there. You aren't going to have to call up guys from the practice squad to be running around, starting at corner for you. Shaq Griffin was a practice squad corner and had to go out and play in this game. Played really well. But imagine what you'd be like with Devin Witherspoon. Imagine what you'd be like with Reek Woolen. You got to fight through this little issue that you have right now. There's nothing that you can do about it. Injuries happen in the game of football. I'd rather have those injuries right now because you can get healthier. You can fight your way back through. Get yourself in the right position. It is going to be over soon. I think you're going to get most of those guys back off the injury report after the bye week. Fingers crossed, maybe you get Devin Witherspoon, Julian Love back before you take on the Houston Texans. This team, this secondary is going to be scary. But you're not going to be scary until you get to 100% healthy. Or I guess I should say terrifying. You might be scary now. You'll be terrifying once everybody gets healthy. These are my improvements that your Seahawks have to make. But man, when you win a game and you have this list here, you've got all these issues, and you still win 20-12 on the road across the country, the furthest travel that any team has to do this year, things are going pretty well for you in Seattle. Things are going your way. Things are going our way here at Seahawks Today. Make sure that you subscribe so you can join us in all of the fun, different content that we're doing about your favorite team, the Seattle Seahawks. Breaking news, rumors, just videos on why the team is awesome. We've got it all here. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel.